Hello DC, this is a response to LiteBreeze's 5, 10, 15, 20 contest. Shannon, I just subscribed to you. Other people that I subscribed to started doing responses to your contest, and I was like, oh, somebody new I got to check out. So I've subscribed, and I'm looking forward to checking through all of your old videos. Excuse me. So congratulations on your subscription, milestone. And like I said, I look forward to catching up with all of your past stuff. So this is my response to your contest. I was born in '77, so I was 5 in '82, and I've got something pulled up on a separate screen on YouTube to play. I have the record, I think maybe, but it's probably in the basement, or it might even be at my parents' house. But I wasn't listening to a lot of my own music. I had kiddie records and things like that, but I had a Disney record that had a song on it that I really loved. I'm going to try and play it now. We'll see if it works.
Robin Hood and Little John walking through the forest, laughing back and forth at what the other has to say. Reminiscing this and that and having such a good time.
This is Oodle Lolly
golly, what a day.
from the movie Robin Hood.
Never ever thinking there was danger in the water they were drinking, they just guzzled it down. Never dreaming that a scheming sheriff and his posse was watching them and gathering around. Robin.
So of course, that song is from the movie, and it's sung by Roger Miller, who was actually a proper real recording artist. He did King of the Road and lots of other stuff. And I remember just loving that song, playing it over and over and over again. Out of all the Disney movies that I saw, Robin Hood was and is my favorite, and still love the music from that. As far as other music goes, it was the radio in the house. My parents were playing albums, but it was mostly the radio on in the car, driving back and forth to wherever we had to go, and my parents were really into oldies radio. Now, in the early 80s, oldies radio was 50s, 60s music. So, I don't have anything to really show, but, all of this stuff, this, and here's Murray the K's, Boss Golden Gassers, all of these songs, and this box set, almost all of these songs. Some of these are from the 70s, and I heard these too. All this stuff, all these oldies. I heard all of this stuff, and this is what I listened to. This is my parents' music, and this is what I got into. So, fast forward 5 years, it's 1987, and I'm 10, and I'm still mostly listening to my parents' music, although by now I've really gotten to the point where I really know what I'm listening to, and I enjoy my parents' music. They had taken the time to record several albums onto cassette tape, and that is what we listened to when we traveled anywhere, or phone is ringing, ignore it. I've tried to, this is my second take on this one, so just ignore it. So they recorded tapes, and that's what we listened to, especially on long car rides. And so here's some of the records that I really got steeped in. Carter Still's Nasty Young's Deja Vu album, hugely influential. American Graffiti, American Graffiti, American Graffiti. This was all over my childhood. Again, more 50s, 60s music. I mean, by the time I was 10, I knew who Buster Brown was. I mean, I knew the difference between, Buster Brown and Chuck Berry and the Clovers versus the Cleftones, and I could sing every song on this record, man. Loved this, still love it today. My parents loved this record, Billy Joel's An Innocent Man. Knew every song off of this, too. my mom was a huge Carole King fan. This was definitely in her generation, and really enjoyed this one. I just showed this record, and I should have the other record, Movin'. This and Movin' were recorded on the same tape, so it was on a loop all the time. You know, just kept flipping over. We just kept listening to it, and really got into this. And we didn't have these two on tape, but my dad is and was a huge John Denver fan. So there's Greatest Hits 1 and 2, and of course, whoever just called left a message, so it's going to chime. Again, continue to ignore it. So, radio. So 1987 radio, popular music radio. I started to really get into that. No real songs stand out, but except for one, and I'm going to flip over and bring up the iTunes because I've got the 45 in the picture sleeve somewhere. But it would be 4 days before I could do this if I took the time to find it. So hang on just a minute. This is Make Me Lose Control by Eric Carmen. And the reason I love this song is coming up right here. Alright. That acapella break knocked me out at 10. That was really unusual for a record from the 80s back then. Nothing else like it springs to mind. And it's Eric Carmen, and it's, you know, cheesy and so on and so forth. But that little segment, man, took me out every time I heard it. Loved it. And of course, you know, that last unusual little chord there at the end before it goes into the electronic drums, and it's, you know, you shake your head to it. Yeah, I still love it. So stuff like that. I love stuff like that. Yeah. So 5 years after that, I'm 15. It's 92. And by then, I think I had stolen my parents' record player and their records, most of them, and had taken them upstairs to my bedroom. And I talked a little bit about this in my A to Z thread response, but by then I was heavily, seriously into Paul Simon's catalog. He was a huge influence on my musical tastes, and so I was just starting to get into records, just starting to look for records. So Parsons, Sage, Rosemary, and Thyme by them, The Dangling Conversation, Flowers Never Bend with the Rainfall, which now Paul Simon disavows sort of the song, but I still love it. 7 O'Clock News, Silent Night, creeped me out, you know, at 15, sent chills up my spine. Poem on the Underground Wall, you know, an album like this, his first solo album, Duncan on this record, I was in love with this song. Run That Body Down, Armistice Day, Peace Like a River, Papa Hobo, you know, huge record for me. I got really excited the day I found this on tape at my local shop, because this was this album right before Graceland, and it was not popular. People thought that when he put this out that he was kind of over and done. It maybe didn't even sell 1 million copies, which for someone like Paul Simon was, you know, outrageous. But still, I mean, it's just got Hearts and Bones on it. It says Training the Distance on it. A song about the moon. Renee and Georgette Magritte with their dog after the war. I mean, great album. And not every song on it's a hit, but some really amazing, thoughtful stuff that I really love this album. And then, of course, Graceland. This was in my Walkman all the time. And So I was really into Paul Simon at that time. In '92, grunge had hit and it actually made it to my little small town. So I was listening to that. Right around that time, Arrested Development's second album, Zingalama Dooney, came out, which was huge for me. I wore that tape out. That's all that really comes to mind. I was just starting to get into records, really, exploring older stuff. And then, oh no, there's something else. So by '92, my folks had, Dad had sort of stopped really paying much attention to music, and my mom was really into music, but oldies radio had kind of gotten tired and stale, and it was sort of more switching to a much more restricted format and bringing in like more '70s stuff that she wasn't really into, and she got really hooked on the new country. So I don't have any of it on vinyl. I don't even have the CDs, but I mean Kathy Mattea and Mary Chapin Carpenter and Garth Brooks's first few albums, and Alan Jackson and Clint Black, and that whole class of people that bum rushed the stage. New wave of country was really in my house around that time, and so I still love all of that stuff. Got really fond memories of listening to mixtapes that we would make from things and take those on the road. So then at 20, by then I was really into records, and that's what all this craziness is. Started listening to all sorts of crazy stuff. I had a friend who was getting really into the Indigo Girls and Ani DeFranco. We'd listen to them a lot when we would drive around and do nothing, In college, I was still buying records in college. I wasn't into Springsteen yet. That was a couple of years away. That was my senior year. In 20, I was a sophomore. I don't have a whole lot to show because by then the switchover had been made, and I've got rid of a lot of my tapes and a lot of that stuff. It's that time period where it's hard to find on vinyl. So I can't really show it all that well. But mostly I was into my records. I was in college and I was separated from them, and of course limited income and things like that. But by 20, I considered myself a record collector, no doubt, serious part of my identity. And I still had them, even though I don't think I even had a record player all 4 years in college. I still kept collecting records and then bringing them home when I could. Music that was on the radio, and it was just everywhere. So I guess that's my response to your contest thread, and I look forward to seeing everybody else's. This has been a lot of fun, and congratulations again, LiteBreeze, on your accomplishment. And I'll talk to you later, VC. Bye.